It's a story that sadly we seem to be reporting more and more every day. Men and women who wear the badge losing their lives in the line of duty. Michelle Sigona is here with more. Michelle?
Matt, today this trail of tears leads us to Maryland, where a state trooper's family continues to relive the day that they found out their son and new father was taken from them.
It was supposed to be a routine traffic stop.
The driver removed a fully loaded .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun.
Instead, a heroic state trooper is shot by a heartless gunman and left for dead.
It meant nothing for him to pull the trigger in a trooper's face that night.
This is the story of a brave cop and a family's shattered world.
It was just completely overwhelming, just unimaginable.
Sheriff Mike Lewis says Eddie Plank, his former partner and good friend, was on his usual late-night patrol.
He was working 11 to 7 shift. He would stop his first vehicle of the night, southbound on US Route 13 in Westover, Somerset County, Maryland. The vehicle was traveling 74 in a posted 55-mile-per-hour zone. He suspected there was criminal activity afoot.
Trooper Plank's instincts are right. The driver has a bag of crack cocaine stashed in his car.
Eddie knew then something was up. He called for backup. Eddie went up to get them out of the car.
Eddie's partner that night is parked just 300 yards away when Officer Plank cautiously approaches the car. Suddenly, gunfire erupts.
He knelt down to order both the driver and the passenger out of the car. The driver removed a fully loaded .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun from beneath his leg and shot the trooper through the face as he leaned down, and the bullet struck him just to the left of the bridge and nose and blew out the back of his head.
The driver speeds off into the night and police rush to the scene. Eddie's mother and father get the phone call every parent of a cop dreads. They quickly drive to the hospital, not knowing if Eddie is alive or dead.
On your way over, did you have any idea?
No, we were praying he was hitting the arm, we didn't know.
We had no idea.
Hit the arm, the leg or something. We had no idea until we got to the hospital how bad it was.
And when you got to the hospital, what
The
happened?
doctor from the emergency room came out to us and said he was still alive, but his brain was not functioning. He was brain dead. And then she said, look bad. And I guess 5 or 10 minutes later, they came out and he was gone.
After an all-out manhunt, the shooter, Ivan Lovell, and his accomplice, William Lynch, are caught and later convicted for the senseless and cold-blooded killing of Eddie Plank.
What has life been like without him?
Not the same.
Our life is, I put it like our life before Eddie died and our life after Eddie died. It sort of just like cuts it right down.
His loss dramatically affected me. He was somebody that I like to be around, someone who goes out there every day, puts that uniform on, and holds these lowlifes accountable for their actions.
Mike Lewis, now a sheriff, will never forget that terrible night. Eddie had just celebrated his 2-year wedding anniversary with his wife and newborn child.
And Eddie had a daughter at the time.
Yes.
Who was only what?
7 months old. She never knew her father.
Family, friends, and strangers from all around the country came to say farewell to a good cop who died way too young. Eddie was only 28 years old.
He gave his life so that you and I and my family and all Marylanders might live free of crime.
20 years later, Eddie Plank is still one of Maryland's most honored fallen heroes. He is a painful reminder that every day, nothing is ever routine or easy when it comes to catching criminals.
I can tell you firsthand, there's not a day of my life that goes by I don't think about Eddie Plank. Not a day of my life that goes by. 20 years later, I don't think about Eddie, the sacrifices he made.
How does Eddie's legacy live on?
We have a scholarship for one student in each school.
And it's the TFC Eddie Plank Scholarship Fund.
The money varies. This year it was $2,000 per child. And they have to have I think it's a 3.5 grade average and a 500-word essay on how drugs are affecting America.
His name will always be out there.
His legacy
will live on, yes.
This really is such senseless violence. What happened, Michelle, to the 2 men who were arrested in this case?
Well, Ivan Lovell was 25 years old when he was convicted for killing Trooper Plank, and he was originally given the death penalty. That was overturned, and now he's serving life without the possibility of parole.
And Michelle, what about the other man arrested in this case, William Lynch?
Well, William Lynch was convicted on drug and handgun charges and given a 20-year sentence. Police recovered $63,000 worth of crack cocaine inside that car. Investigators now believe they were on their way back from New York after buying a large amount of drugs when they were stopped.
This really is a remarkable story. Thank you, Michelle. To find out how you can get involved with the Eddie Plank Jr. Scholarship Fund, you can just visit our website, crimewatchdaily.com.